Hey guys, it's the Average Gamer here, back with another video, and I wanted to follow up our video that we had about the Outrun Arcade1up cabinet. Some information came out to reconfirm what we stated in that video, and I wanted to talk about it with you guys. So without further ado, let's get into this. Here we have the web page here now. The Outrun seated cabinet is sold out, and it sold out pretty fast. We knew that was going to happen because the demand for this um, cabinet um, has been going on for a while. The back and forth, the the leaks, the Easter eggs. uh, You know, it's it's been out. Um, So we knew that this was going to sell out relatively fast. We don't know how many units they did have, but I'm sure that it was enough. Again, we were clamoring for it. We were hungry for it. We knew that we wanted it. So it's gone. But there is some good news to that. Remember, this is that first wave was for direct to consumer from their web page. They are going to be releasing some more through their retailers. That's going to be next year, unfortunately. So you'll have to keep an eye out for that. Also, in addition to that, they will be having the stand-up version of this cabinet, and that's going to be with the retailers as well. And I believe that's because of packaging. It's going to be harder to have these on the shelves, the sit-down cabs, because it's going to be a bigger box with that seat included. So you'll probably see the retailers who do have the seated version, like Walmart and maybe some others, will probably do that more on their web presence, not through their stores. But you can definitely see those other cabinets, stand-up cabinets on the shelves if they last that long. But with that being said, what I wanted to talk to you about was on the video that we had a couple of days ago. I did tell you that this cabinet was going to be done by Code Mystic, and we kind of knew that in a sense if you paid attention to the features and that they have on this cabinet. They Let's go ahead and pull it up here. They had mentioned that they were going to be having game setting menus. Now that's not something that Arcade1up does on their arcade cabinets. The only ones that I can remember was the NBA Jam and also quite recently the Golden Axe. Those are both games done by Code Mystic. So there, we had that. Now they are going to be adding that to their new lines of games due to some of the issues that they've come across with in terms of their scan lines and things of that nature. Not everybody's a fan of those, especially on the Pac-Mans. Looking, they look very blurry. So, um, why don't we have the ability to just change that? That's going to be happening, and also with the Super Pac-Man button mapping issue. So they are going towards that, but Code Mystic has always had that in their things, and the secret is out. Everybody loves Code Mystic's cabinets. They've been all ahead. The NBA Jam, the Golden Axe, they consider them being some of the best ones. Star Wars, the emulation in terms of the on the arcade side, they just nail it. Um, they pay attention to detail. They are quick to pick up something when they had that issue with the syncing issue on NBA Jam. They were on it, put out a firmware update on their half. So that's going to be cool, because if we do have an issue with Outrun, which I'm sure that there might be one, but they'll be on top of it and they'll make sure they'll move on getting it fixed. But I'm pretty stoked that they are behind the Outrun cabinet. Again, this is just our entry point to the driving cab. I can't wait to see what they do on future cabinets. Hopefully we get ourselves a Daytona or Crazy Taxi. With that being said, remember I had mentioned, why don't we have a Sega logo on this, or we didn't have it on the Golden Axe? I was doing a little bit of research on that, and quite recently it came to light that Sega had branched off their arcade division, and they sold it to another party, and now that party is actually getting out of the business, and I think Sega had purchased them back. So that's probably why we don't see the Sega logo on this or the Golden Axe cabinet, but maybe in future cabinets we'll see that beautiful Sega logo. I recommend, I know for me, I'm going to get me a nice Sega logo, slap it on the back of that, on the side of the cabinet, because that Sega logo is iconic, and it should be on this cabinet. I feel like I'm missing something. That and that Testarossa logo on the car, but we know that would be an issue, so that's not on there. People are complaining about the quality of the steering wheel and what have you, looking like Fisher Price. We don't know what it. I don't think this is the final product, and we don't know what it is. We felt the same way about what the yoke was going to be, and people will tell you that the Star Wars cabinet is probably the best cabinet that Arcade1up has. So, they've had some hit and misses, but they held out on this particular unit because they wanted to make sure they got it right. So I'm sure that this unit is going to be done right, and that steering wheel will respond and will do what it needs to do. Also, another thing I wanted to address was this right here. The pedals. I believe if you look at it, you can see a shadow behind here. I think that this is just slid out so we could see what the pedals look like. I believe that you can push these towards the back of the cabinet, and that this is just a mat for the steering for the pedals. I believe these are pushed back. It just doesn't feel like a natural thing for the wheel to be at the same starting point as the pedals. You wouldn't drive that way. I believe these could slide back and you're good to go. The only way it would have made sense if this was the standing cab version, which is not so. There. And also this seat. I'm going to put some more money into it. I know that's stupid to a lot of people, but to each their own. You're getting that. You probably want to do something to it. I'm going to put in a seat to get that more of a real feel of driving. But we have to remember that this is a company, and they're trying to make a profit. So this is the same exact seat from the Star Wars. They're just gonna slap a new decal on the side of that and call it a day. They probably have tons of these printed out and cut out in their warehouse, and they are not going to put any more money into it because it's right there, and that will be cost effective to them. And a lot of the parts of this can probably be interchangeable with the Star Wars unit. So I'm sure that they're going to use what they can to keep the cost down. But again, once you get your cab, you can do what you will with it and make it your own. What are some of the things that you guys are going to do to the cab? Are you going to leave it stock as is? Are you going to change some things out? I wouldn't do too much to it. It looks like, it pretty much is perfect to me, other than that seat. The seat is an issue to me. And what we're going to do. I could see Bobby Boo putting some rims on the side of this to make it look like an actual car. Bobby, if you do that, let me know. I want to see that. But I think this is cool. I really, I can't wait to get it in my home. Have a different cabinet in my collection. You don't want to keep on, you can have but so many fighting games, so many versions of Pac-Man, and what have you. When you have a different thing like a racing car game or a shooting game, it gives a whole different side, and it really gives you the feel of having your own arcade. But with that being said, I just wanted to touch base with you guys again, reconfirm what we said about this cabinet being done by Code Mystic. Again, we were able to get that source by Weekly 1up. They had got a confirmation from John B, so we're 100% on that, what have you. But again, I want to just touch base with you guys on that. So, who was please let me know in the section down below if you were one of the lucky ones to be able to get some of the pre-orders, or are you waiting for the retailers to cop it, or are you waiting for the other version, the stand-up version? I know a lot of people are excited for that one. It'll take up less space, and maybe it feel more natural for them in terms of driving it. I remember in the arcade, that was my experience. I played the stand-up, but I really would like to sit down one. But with that being said, I definitely appreciate you stopping by here in the lounge. Please leave a comment, like the video, consider subscribing. We definitely want to take you on our journey of home arcade world. Appreciate you guys. Till the next one. Good night.